now start editing my fonts. And the first thing I want to do is I want to get this Pacifico font that I use for all of my headings and for my header component. Okay, if you look at my current application, which is broken, if you look at my current application, you'll see I just use whatever the default fonts are in Chakra UI, and it just doesn't look good. Okay, so you can use a fonts instead. So I'm going to go ahead with option 1. Okay, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to my front end and I'm going to install font source, Open Sans, and Railway, but I don't actually want to use Open Sans, so I'm going to instead use Pacifico. So I'm going to look that up, right? So I'm going to say font source Pacifico and see what I can install. Looks like it defaults to 400. So I'm going to say that's fine. So I'm going to say Pacifico. All right, so now it's going to install that. Perfect. All right, so then I am going to go ahead and I am going to go to my app. Okay. And I'm going to add an import statement in my app for that font. So I'm going to say import, and I'm going to say at font source / Pacifico. All right. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to head back to my theme, and you can see that they have this. So I'm going to go ahead and add in to my extend theme. I'm going to add in, well, so right now I'm going to add for heading, I'm going to say Pacifico and then cursive. And for body, I'm not going to have anything quite yet because I don't know what my font is for that. All right, let's take a look, and you can see that my heading, that's the only place that I actually used heading, is now being converted. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that we have the correct color too. Okay, so we need to figure out where that is coming from. So I'm curious if I can do heading like this and add a comma, and then I can do color. All right, and then I'm gonna go and find my color, which should be, what is the color I want? A light blue. So you need to go find where that light blue is, and I might actually be able to find it looking at the website. Yes. So copy this and try that. It didn't exactly work. That is okay. We will keep trying. All right, so let's now go back to our style props and let's look into global styles. Okay, so that looks like a color. Okay, so that's, okay, so it looks like for global, it's actually making it like an arrow function. Did this turn back to white? No, it's still green. All right. So then let's wrap this. Okay, so let's take a look. So heading is closed, body is closed. And then I think we want the parentheses to be 1 in. All right, let's take a look. Still not the right color. So let's take a look at let's see if we can just do, we need to do the teal dot 300 if we need to do a specific chakra UI color. And looks like no. So what if we do instead text? See if we can just get anything to change color. Nope. Okay. All right. All right, so properties defined in a layer style, color or text color. Okay. So let's get rid of that. All right, and then let's try layer styles. So it's all going to be a lot of guessing and checking and figuring out what is best going to, so I'm going to call this layer style heading, and then I'm going to make it an option, and I'm going to call this color and paste that in. Okay, then it looks like I have to add layer style heading to my header. Okay, so let's give that a try. Layer style is going to be heading. Let's look. And it's blue. All right, so we're slowly figuring out the Chakra UI customization. All right, and then you can also tell that this is font size 36. So let's pump this up to 36. All right, curious of what the standard is. Okay, so the standard is just 36. Okay, let's see. So for coding with Callie, we have the hamburger menu then, and so that's kind of making it a little bit more doable. All right, so I'm gonna actually close this and comment this out just to see what it looks like if there's not. Okay, so if there's not the big menu here, this looks pretty good and it looks pretty similar in terms of styling. So that's awesome. Okay, so let's comment this back in here. All right, and we will worry about that a little bit further. I'm gonna go ahead and shrink this down for now. All right, that looks a little bit better to me. And I'm gonna say, let's take this. All right. Okay, so we're to say, looks like we can't add. It's a lot of guessing and checking with CSS. All right, so I'm going to add a border around here, so that way I can take a look, okay? So I'm gonna try to do width 100%, okay? And let's go back down to width 50%. Okay, but I want it all the way over. So then I'm gonna say in this one, flex equals 1. So that will take up the remaining room, okay? Then in here, I'm gonna say justify content. Let's do space around again. That looks good. So I can then take off this border. The border really helps me envision where things are at. Okay, that looks good. All right, so you can see this is the other text. So let's go ahead and try to fix all of our headings though, now that we have the heading, and see where else that takes us. So this like log into our account should look different. So let's go ahead, and I think it's going to be in all of our pages where this heading is. Okay, so I'm going to do, instead of text, I want to do heading. Nope. Okay, and then I'm going to do layer style is heading. That looks good. All right. Then I feel like this needs to be bigger. So let's do 28. And that, yeah, that looks better. Let's go ahead and look at how we're over here. That is 28. And then I'm kind of curious though, because it looks like we have a margin up here and the margin is 80. So I'm curious what is being used to make that 80. Think we might need to guess and check. All right. Because I think we want a similar thing there. So I think for here, we'll do margin top. Let's try 10. Let's go to another page so we can kind of compare. All right, it looks like it's still a little bit off. So let's try 15. Nope. All right, let's try that. All right, that looks good. Okay. So then we're gonna need to add this to all of our pages then. So profile, gonna go add that to the box. Projects, let's go add that to the box. Let's go to projects. So let's log in so we can see the projects. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna say margin X and margin top 20. All right, let's go ahead and see profile. Okay, that looks better. Projects is not looking great, but we will figure, oh, that because it's project, that's why. All right, that looks better. Okay, so now we are gonna go ahead and do the same thing here. We will return this to a heading element. And then we add our layer style is equal to heading. Okay, we want this to be 28. Okay, so that looks good. Let's check. This looks a little bit bigger than 28 to me, but nope, it is 28. Okay, so then let's go to account details and let's do the same thing. So this should be heading. This should be heading. This should be 28, and this should be layer style heading. Beautiful. All right, and then projects, account details, that looks good. Let's go and now click on one individual project. Okay, and then for here, I think our project name could be our heading. So we're going to look into that now. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. And then in text, we're going to say heading instead. And we're going to say layer style is equal to heading. Okay, and then we are going to say font size is equal to 28. Okay, that looks good to me. Okay, let's add a feature so we can see what that looks like. Okay. And then I think feature in here would be the same. So let's go to feature mode. And we are going to take feature name and do the same. Change it to heading. And 28. And then we're going to say layer style heading. That looks good. All right, let's take a look at user story. All right, let's create it. Let's go look to see if that is going to be the same thing. Story name. No, it doesn't look like it. That looks like that's where it ends. Okay, so we should be good in terms of our headings now. We got our projects, our account details. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to do the other font, which is going to be some type mono space. So instead, we're going to look up what that will look like, and I'm going to do font source some type mono. Let's see what comes up. This is what comes up, so I'm going to go ahead and install this. All right, and then I'm going to go to my app.tsx. Nope. My app.tsx, and I'm going to import at font source some type mono. Then I'm going to go to my theme.ts, and I'm going to create another layer style. I'm going to call this text, and I'm going to say color is going to be, and I want it to be this purple-ish color. So I'm going to inspect so I can get the color, which is here. All right, and then I'm also going to add here fonts. Let's look at what it says, body. So let's see what body does. It's going to be backtick, and we're going to have some type mono. All right, mono. And then we're going to do end quotes, and then we are going to say mono space. All right, let's take a look. All right, looking pretty good. All right, it's definitely not the right color though, but that's because we haven't added layer style to it. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so that's going to be pretty much everywhere that there's text. So I'm actually going to close out of all of these pages so we can kind of have a more organized approach for how we do this. All right, so let's go through our pages. Log in. All right, so that's heading. All right, so let's go to log out. So now we're on log in. Okay. So form label, let's see how that works. Layer style is going to be equal to text. And you can see vaguely, but it did turn purple. Okay. So pretty much anywhere we have text here now, we need to add that layer style text. Okay. So also, if I type in my input, that's going to be black. So we are going to want that to be in here too. And now it's purple. Good. All right. Form error message, we'll want that too, except I think for form error message, we are good with having that. And that's supposed to be red. So that's good. Okay. Form label. Good. Input. Good. All right, error message. Button. I think I'm gonna leave button alone because yes, it has text on it, but I think we'll have our own styling for the button. So I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Text. Layer style text. Forget your password, and then the other button. Okay. That looks pretty good in terms of login. Delete some unused imports. All right, now let's go to profile. So I'm actually gonna log in so I can see profile. All right, and let's start working on profile. Here it is, okay. So I'm going to add it to text. Okay, perfect. I'm going to, so those are user detail row. So it looks like we need to go into that. And text, let's add it in there. All right, that did all of this column. So now we want to do it for this. And that looks good. All right. So buttons, we're not going to worry about right now. Okay, so let's go to projects. All right, so now we're on projects and let's go through. So heading, we don't need to worry about. Text, we do. Perfect. Nice. Nice. All right, so now let's go to our create project accordion because that is going to need this layer as well. All right, so it looks like this box. There you go. Form label should have that. Input should have the layer style. Form label like that. Text area. Let me go back to my terminal. All right, and then button. So let's just type in here. Yep, that's purple. That's purple. Okay, nice. So now we click on a project and we want all of this to be accurate too. Also, sorry if you hear my daughter right now. She's having a lot of fun right now in the hallway. Okay, so next we're gonna look at all of this. Okay, so we're on the project page now. All right, let's go up. It's project name. So now we have project description. So let's add this to our text. All right, so that's good. And then we want to add this to our input as well. So now when we click here, the input's also purple. Let me let my dog in real quick. Sorry about that. My dog was barking at the door. Okay, so then we are going to add this layer style. Oops, I already added it here. We're just gonna kind of keep adding it all over. And this is also what I'm gonna do for the rest of the video. So if you're tired of watching me add layer styles, then you can probably skip this portion. So what we could do though, in order to make this better, is like we could create a text component ourselves that already has that layer style in it. And potentially we could also look into it more to see if there's a way to do this without layer styles. But I don't feel like it's taking me too long to do this. So I'm okay with it. Okay, feature box, good. All right, now let's do feature modal. And we have the accordion. I'm gonna do the accordion first. All right, so let's add it here. All right, getting close. All right, that looks good. We already did feature box. Let's do feature modal. All right, looking for any area that has text or input. And if I miss something, that's okay, because I can always go in and add it as I see it. All right, so now let's go to the user details accordion. Feels like we are getting close. All right, so this is gonna have an input. This is a text. This is a text. 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 Input. This is a box, but it has a description in it, so we're gonna put that there. All right. We have task box. All right, input, text. All right, that looks good. And looks like we have delete modal still. All right, text. Text. All right. All right, that looks good to me. Okay, and we already did projects. Okay, reset password. We can add it there. Form label, input, form label, input. All right, that looks good. And sign up. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, but I think sign up is actually going to be a, yep. So we want to do margin top equals 20. And then we want to change this to heading. We want to change this to heading. And we want to have layer style is going to be heading. And we want this to be 28. Okay. Then we want to go ahead and change all of these to be purple. And we are getting close. All right, I think that looks pretty good. So create an account looks good. Login looks good. Reset password Let me see. I think I already edited this, but let's see what color it is. Kind of hard to tell sometimes. Yeah, that looks purple. Okay, so now let's actually log in and then let's do some clicking. All right, let's add a project. Project C. This is my description of project C, and then create project. And that all looks purple. This all looks purple. We can add a feature. Feature 1. Description. Let's create the feature. Let's take a look. This looks good. That looks good too. So let's go ahead and create a user story. And create user story. All right. Description looks purple. Add a task. Kind of hard if that look. Can't tell if that looks purple or not. I don't think it is. Okay, so create task. Let's go look. Nope, so we did miss that. All right, now that's purple. All right, task 1, create a task. All right, if I go to delete feature, that all looks purple. All right, so we are making our way through styling. We're getting pretty good. It's looking similar to our Coding with Callie website. And now we are gonna take a break and I will see you in the next video.